Hello and welcome to Woolality TV. These are my little videos that I make about fitting crafting, oh, gone really dark, into my everyday life. I've had my fringe cut, but it wasn't the usual lady that did it. So I feel it looks a bit strange. I do need to straighten my hair a bit. So what I thought I was going to do for this one, it's Sunday, so we're just coming to the end of the weekend and the girls will be back at school for their first full week from tomorrow. They've already been back a couple of days. So I thought I'd film a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow and make a little vlog about how I'm going to get back to a bit more of a routine in the week, because obviously everything's been up in the air with being working from home and homeschooling and going back to work and then working from home again and so on. So I just thought I don't know, film a bit of how I'm fitting stuff in craft wise over the next couple of days. So the first thing I wanted to do was gather up all of my works in progress that I have scattered around the house, and all of my, as the Wool is the Answer ladies call it, projects in waiting, which are projects in project bags, yarn, patterns, etc., which haven't even been started. So I'm going to gather all of those up just to show you the enormity of the situation.
Maybe I never knew what I really wanted, but looking back I can see it's all clear. I'm still a kid trying to act like they all taught me, but nothing makes sense anymore.
Right, I've got everything here in the living room. So what I'm going to do is do a whistle stop tour without getting anything out of the project bags, just to show you how many there are. So, do excuse the angle, I'm just sitting on the living room floor. It was the quickest and best way to do it. The girls are painting and making slime in the kitchen still. So first of all, I've got this one. This is a colourwork mitten project, which I need to frog and start again because they came out too small. This is a pair of socks, that's just the yarn and the pattern. This is a Halloween project, which has got the yarn and the pattern ready to go. This is a shawl, which has got the yarn and the pattern ready to go. This is a long-term ongoing project, which is my ugly blanket, which is a scrappy project. This is a pair of socks, yarn and pattern ready to go. This is a pair of socks recently frogged, but yarn is ready to go and I'm making up the pattern. What's this? This is a pair of socks using yarn from another sock project. I had enough yarn left over, so it's kind of on the go, and they're just vanilla socks. This is a pair of cable mittens, which I've had and frogged about 80 times, but I think I'm probably up to the knitting standard now that I could probably do it. This is a colourwork hat project, which I have to frog back because it's currently too big and I need to do a bit of calculating to work out the correct size. Oh, this is a long-term granny stripe blanket project. I'm going to have to start reaching now. Cross-stitch project. I don't cross-stitch. This is going to be a beginner project for me. Colourwork hat, featherweight cardigan. Oh no, sorry, this is the colourwork hat. This is a shawl that I was making and loving but fallen out of love with and need to think what to do. Scrappy corner to corner moss stitch blanket project. Ziggy Interrupted shawl by Sandra of Cherry Heart podcast. Yarn and pattern all ready to go. This is a little kit of cotton to make a little rabbit that a lovely friend of the podcast sent to me, and I keep meaning to do it because I know it'll be a quick project, but I haven't started yet. This is a design in progress. When I say design, it's a very basic design that I'm trying to do so I can make a little crochet tutorial. This is actually not a project, I was making hearts for the local hospital, and I'm not at the moment, so I don't know what to do with all this. I do like to keep the particular yarn in this bag because I kind of associate it now, so I know where it is. And this is another scrappy project, long-term ugly blanket. Ugly blankets are scrappy projects where I use the very odds and ends of yarn that can't go into anything else, and I just put them, regardless of colour or order, into a giant granny square. I've got one that's DK and upwards weight and one that is 4-ply weight. So that's this one. So let's just do a quick count up of that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 21. 21 projects that are either works in progress or waiting to go. I mean, it's good to have choice, but 21 might be a bit excessive. So I think I'm going to have to make myself a little plan about how I'm going to tackle all this. Yeah, like I say, I'm not going to go into a vast amount of detail on all of these because I think that would be quite boring, but I'm going to show you a couple of them. I'm going to show you some of the ones that are ready to go but I haven't started yet. So for example, in my Halloween bag, because obviously it's coming up to the time of year that it's going to be time to make this, so it's in time to put up as a decoration. It's a pattern by Nordic Stitches, Lily at Nordic Stitches. It's called Pumpkin Party. I printed this in black and white, so you can't see it terribly well, but they're little knitted pumpkins, which I thought was really, really nice. And I had some Let Lopi yarn, which is like a really rustic, fuzzy yarn. And I thought it'd be perfect for a lovely little grey ornamental pumpkin. So I've got that all in here, and I've even got, for inspiration, or possibly because I forgot to tidy them up last year, so shoved them in a Halloween bag so I knew I'd get them out, little hammer bead decorations that the girls made. And the bag, by the way, was a gift from Craftmonger Law. It was part of a set that she did with Suzanne of Green Lambkin Yarns, and that there's even a little pumpkin stitch marker there. It's a really great Halloween-y bag. So I've got that all ready to go. So really I should need to start that pretty soon really if I want to get that done in time to have it out for October for a little decoration. So that is something that would probably be quite quick as well. So that's one that's been waiting to go. And this one has been, I've been planning to do this forever. This is the last one I'm going to talk about before we get back into the vlogginess. I've got these 2 yarns, and honestly they've been balled up for so long I dread to think like how stretched they must be. But fortunately it's a shawl pattern, so gauge and that isn't going to be massively problematic. This is Mint Choc Chip, I think. It's a West Green Loft Yarns, and Choc Chip it's called. Bought this absolutely ages ago, and I bought it at the same festival. I bought this from Rosie's Moments. It's just a plain undyed sparkle, and I bought them especially to go together to make the Across the Pond shawl by Mina Phillip, who's a knitting expat. I don't have a printed copy here, and yeah, I've been meaning to make that forever, and I've just never got around to it. So I should probably get around to that fairly soon. I should think that should go in the fairly urgent pile, just because I want to use that yarn and not leave it balled up for too much longer. And the gorgeous bag is by Caroline Love to Sew. Button there, all Tilda fabrics, really beautiful. And my husband bought me that as a present one year. So I'm going to put that in the kind of let's get on with that pile. Yeah, so that's the last one I'm going to show you for now, because otherwise we'll be here all day. The one that I'm working on at the moment, like my current project, is the one that's living in this bag by Hannah. And it is my corner to corner moss stitch crochet blanket. Whoops. Oh dear. Crochet hook stuck in it. And I really love it. It's a very soothing project, but I haven't worked on it very much this last year really. It's been on the go for at least 3 years. So I figured I was going to put some time in on this over the next week or so before my next podcast, which will be a week tomorrow. and just see how much I can get done on that in that time. So that's kind of my current project. So that's going to go and sit on the sofa so that I can just pick it up whenever I'm sat down. Not that sitting down happens very often. And the rest of them tend to live around the living room. You would have seen me, so there's a chair here and there's a lip behind it, and I tend to put projects behind there because they kind of stay hidden and it doesn't look messy. But that's been happening more and more and more recently, and I've branched out to putting them on the little lip behind the sofa as well, which does look messy because you can see it as soon as you come in the house. And it's kind of stressing me out a bit. So I think what I'm going to do is select some of the projects that I'm definitely going to be working on. For example, my featherweight cardigan, my long-term blanket project, and the mittens. So the mittens that are too small are actually, again, Hannah from Sheep's Alley. It's a Halloween mystery knit along she did last year. They've got spooky skulls and faces and trees. They've even got beadwork on them, and I really enjoyed doing it. I'm not very experienced with colour work, but they just came out way too small. My gauge was just completely wrong. Although I really like the colours I chose, although I like this contrast at the top, the trees with the blue. Those two blues are my favourite, and then the contrast with the scary faces I don't think is highly contrasted enough. So what I'm going to do is swap it. So the grey is going to be the rib here, which is currently dark blue. And then I'm going to have that same dark blue, light blue contrast for the scary faces. And then go as it is there. But I have to frog it all, which is a bit heartbreaking because it was a lot of work. But, you know, I got the hang of it. And I've still got all of the needles and everything in here. So I know exactly what I was doing. And I know, you know, to go up maybe a size of needle and the upper size in the pattern as well. So I'd quite like to get that done because it's a Halloween project. So I'm going to put that in. That's going to be my third need to get sorted soon pile. Then my design that I'm doing, I really want to get that sorted so that I can start making my little tutorial videos. So that's definitely going to be in my projects in progress, not just in waiting pile. And then the rest of it I'm going to gather up. I've got a nice big basket here. I'm going to take them up to the bedroom, hopefully find a little place I can just plonk them up there so it's a little bit less stressful looking at it every day around the living room. And also I keep complaining at everyone else to tidy up their stuff and Dan to tidy up his Lego. Actually, it's not his Lego, he's sorting out all of Phoebe's Lego and getting it all in the right boxes. So I think I need to take my own advice and tidy up my mess too. I just found another one that I completely forgot about. This is my travel knitting. I keep this in the car, in Dan's car, I should say, so that if I'm a passenger, I've always got some emergency knitting in case we get stuck. And this is just, this is a bag from my lovely friend Cherie of the Ollie and Bella podcast. We did a swap a few years back. And I'm using yarn from my friend Becky, who is a fantastic dyer. She is back to Blighty. She also has a podcast. And this was a gift at Easter last year. It's one of her mini sets in the colour set Crocus. I've shown this a few times before on the podcast, but here you go. Aren't they beautiful? And they smell divine as well. So I'm just making some scrappy socks with those. I'm going to be knitting them concurrently. So knit one, knit the other, knit one, knit the other. But I've only started the first one. So the next thing I want to do is start the second sock. So I've got past the rib and I'm about to add the next colour on the first sock. And they're just vanilla scrappy socks. But they only get worked on if I'm travelling, you know, as a passenger, and if I'm in the mood for knitting when I'm travelling. So that's 22. I have issues. Phoebe's here. We're just making slime, actually.
Yeah, look.
Oh, don't use that tub. I use that tub for food. I'll get you one that you can use. Do you want to show your slime?
Yeah. So I just got back from a sleepover too. This is the slime I made at the sleepover. Let me just get it ready to show you.
Oh, it hurts to
Right, we're having a bit of a lazy afternoon. The tap is dripping because it needs fixing. Dan, if you're watching, the tap needs fixing still. The girls are being, well, Phoebe's been playing with slime. Sorry, that was a really extreme close-up. Phoebe's been playing with slime, but now she is on Roblox. Lilia is painting.
On Tower of Hell.
Lilia is painting a chest of drawers
And I'm a noob.
as a commission for her friends. She paints objects for friends. And I am sorting out some old crochet magazines, which I've had for ages. I've still kept a load that I know I've got at least 2 projects in that I know I want to make. But the ones where I don't, I'm just going through and double checking there's nothing in there. And if there is, I'm just taking a picture on my phone, so I'll save it to the computer so I can refer back to it in future if I want to make it. Otherwise they're all going to the charity shop, so that's what I'm doing now.
Hello.
This is Lilia's mirror. Here's me filming you.
Named after Once Upon a Time.
Lilia's just started watching the television series Once Upon a Time, and this is going to be a Once Upon a Time themed mirror. So at the moment it's in it's a work in progress. It's going to be apple trees, is that right?
Yeah, after Regina's garden.
Am I the only one lost in translation, where nothing makes sense anymore?
I'm just taking a shot of this one because I've actually made this before. I made this as a present for my mother-in-law, and I'd quite like to make it again one day in different colours. And then I just noticed that I've made this as well. I might have to show this. I think I've shown it as a blast from the past on the podcast before. It's the puff sleeve pullover by Ron Strong. I made it in purple. I made these as well before, just remembered. I made 3 projects from this issue. But I'm probably not going to make them again, and there's nothing else I would make, so I'm still going to give it to the charity shop. But if you're interested, it's this one. Inside Crochet, issue 56.
Am I the only one lost in translation, where nothing makes sense anymore?
Good morning. Do not be alarmed, it is me with no fringe. It is Monday morning. I've just got back from dropping Phoebe at school, and before I do my half hour of housework, I'm doing the kitchen dining room today. I'm going to do my 20-minute HIIT workout with Natasha Ocean, or Ocean, not sure how you say her. She has HIIT workouts on YouTube. She looks very sweet, do not be fooled. She is pure evil. But it's only 20 minutes of my day and it does me good. So that's what I'm going to do now.
I still wonder how, yeah, you always make it right. And maybe it's all chance, but either way, you showed me how.
Oh my god, can't believe I'm filming myself looking like this and putting it on YouTube. Look at my hair. Okay, I'm exhausted. If anyone's interested, by the way, her name's Natasha with a C, Ocean with an E at the end, and she's on Instagram. She's British and she's a biophysicist or something. So she talks a lot about the science behind HIIT workouts and diet and stuff like that. She's really lovely to listen to. She's obviously a very, very intelligent young woman, so I'd highly recommend going to have a look. Although, having said that, I absolutely hate her right now because I'm aching and very sweaty. So I'm going to have some water, cool down a bit, and then I'm going to set a timer for about 40 minutes and blitz the kitchen and dining room, which is currently a big old mess from the weekend, and just try and get that done in 40 minutes. Whatever doesn't get done, doesn't get done. It will happen next week. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because I'll probably get all hot and sweaty again doing that, and then I'm going to have a shower. And I should say that no crafting happens until these things are done. Obviously, crafting is really good for my mental health. I absolutely love it. Obviously, I have a whole channel about it, but equally important to my mental health is my physical health. So I try to make sure I do that on every day that I'm not working. And obviously, I am one of these people that cannot live with untidiness and mess. I know everybody is different, and I cannot think straight unless everything is neat and tidy and clean. So to stay on top of my housework in a kind of managed way without it getting out of hand, so that I'm not doing it all day every day, is really important to me. So that's why I'm going to squeeze that in before anything else happens. And of course any life admin as well, that all needs to get done. I'm a bit pink in the face. Oh, I've got a red bit on my face because I've had a warm bath. Because I decided to have a bath after my exercise rather than a shower, because it meant I could multitask, because I could reply to podcast messages and Instagram messages and emails and things at the same time. Dan is here.
Hello.
Because he's currently unemployed.
I'm a bum.
He is. He was made redundant during the pandemic. So he is currently full on looking for work, and he's also studying as well for an industry recognised qualification in his field. He works in HR. Very exciting delivery, although not everyone would think so. Envelopes. I'd completely run out of envelopes for my shop. I sell my pins on Etsy, and I have reopened my shop now that I'm back from holiday and the kids are back at school. I've got a load of orders come in, so thank you very much. If you ordered a pin recently, you will now get them sent to you tomorrow, because I have envelopes. And yeah, oh, and thank you to everyone that's bought me, well, I have a Ko-fi account, so thank you to everyone that's bought me a coffee, is what it's called, but I've actually changed it. I've updated to a gold account, which means I can change what it's called. So if you have supported me via Ko-fi, you have officially bought me a nice cup of tea, because that's what it now says. So thank you to everybody who has bought me a nice cup of tea. So I am going to go and parcel up orders ready to take to the post office tomorrow. I've got a couple more emails to write, just connected to the girls' clubs and things, all going back or not, and so on. And then I'm going to sit down and hopefully get an hour of crochet in before I go and pick up Phoebe.
But either way, you showed me how to reach for the best of myself. It's all good when you show the way, yeah. 'Cause even if I fall, ooh, I trust you'll stay, yeah, stay. And through the dark and cold, I know it's all good, 'cause now I'm the best of myself. So hard, stumbling in the dark.
My hair has gone full on fluffy now. We're back from the school run. I meant to film a bit of doing the school run, but I completely forgot. So we're back from the school run. The girls are upstairs getting changed and having snacks, not having snacks upstairs. They'll be coming down for snacks and doing whatever they're doing after school. They're not allowed any technology until after 5. I was going to do some crafty stuff with Phoebe, but she appears to have found something else to do. So I am going to get on and make some damson jelly. My mum's friend has a damson tree and she gave us a load of damsons and they really need to be cooked by today really. So I'm going to get that done. My strainer arrived. I had to order a jelly strainer on eBay. So now that I've got that, I can crack on and do it. So I'm going to get that done now before I have to do dinner. And then that is probably going to be the end of this vlog really, because nothing much exciting is going to happen in the evening other than dinner, showers. Dan's got to log on and do some training online just for half an hour this evening. And then eventually we will settle down and I will hopefully get to do a little bit more crochet. I've only managed about 20 minutes today in between the housework and admin and editing and all of that. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more done later as well. It's going to be a strange week. It's been a strange few days, and today in particular, because obviously the kids are back at school. Everything's different though. So although they're delighted to be back at school and with their friends, as we are, we're delighted for them, there is a lot of change and a lot of strange rules. They can't sing at school. Just little things like that are just making it all very strange, and we're just hoping that one day it won't affect them as much, because I really do think it's them that's affected the most of all. On that note, I'm going to go and get on with my damson jelly, and I will see you on the next podcast. So don't forget to press like if you've enjoyed this, and if you didn't, I'm very sorry. And I'm very sorry about that noise as well. That's Dan trying to fix a toy butterfly. But that's a story for another day. See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Even if I fall, ooh, I trust you'll stay. Yeah. And through the dark and cold, I know it's all good, 'cause I found the best of myself. Yeah. Ooh, sailing on across an open sea that's anxious or calm. But I know now, either way, it's all good, 'cause I found the best of myself.